I'm not sure why I called this film A Bad Day on Ben Fhada, because Ben Fhada refers to the entire ridge. The hill we were trying to climb was Stomp Corrie Screamach, and that's it away in the distance there.
The walk started in Glencoe, up through the gap there, Gieranach on our right, and we made our way up past the waterfalls and into the Lost Valley.
The water was absolutely crystal clear.
The path had been greatly improved since we were last here. Opposite us there were two climbers having a go on the wall there. A very popular one with climbers. Not many on it today though, just two. But eventually we made it over the little top here and got our first views, for 2 years anyway, of the Lost Valley.
Only two people in front of us, and they were going up onto Bichnabean. So we were going to have the whole place to ourselves, and we were looking forward to it.
Mid-July and the Lost Valley was deserted. Most unusual. I was delighted. The whole valley to ourselves. And the hill above us was looking good. Thea's shoulders were very sore, however, and I hope this is the last video film we'll see with a pack as big as this on our back. Made our way up onto the face of the hill and left the Lost Valley behind us. The worst bit was still to come though. Well, the hardest bit, I should say, not the worst bit. The waterfalls were all still pouring a load down the hillside, although there hadn't been much rain. But up above us, when I looked up, wasn't so good. The mist was descending over the top of the hill, and at this time of day, that wasn't a good sign. Thea was now well into the loose rock and scree, and it was difficult picking one's way up through it all. I decided to have a wee rest. the views were worth it. However, I had to catch Thea up, and she was well in front of me. And we came to the worst bit of all, the funnel onto the col. But when we got there, we knew the views would be worth it all. The Lost Valley way below us now as we got to the top of the col, and as if on cue, the mist came down like a blanket. Having got this far, we decided to go for the top, just to get there. We dropped our bags at various spots to give us some idea of our way back down should the mist thicken. And when we reached the top there, it was most disappointing. Not a thing to see. We hung around there for a quarter of an hour or so, but the mist just thickened, and we were really left with no alternative but to give it the thumbs down and make our way back down the hill. At times like these, one says to oneself, well, I certainly won't be back up here. But time mellows one's feelings. And who knows, one day we may go back.
It seemed to have been a long, cold winter.
And many of us had seen more snow than we could ever remember. But at last a day dawned early in March, which made us think perhaps we could at last be saying goodbye to winter. Thea and I took a run round a few of our favourite spots, just to record the scenes. We could hear the ice on the river crack as it melted in the heat of the sun.
Corrie Chat on Cruachan, still heavy with snow. The Black Mount Hills stood out sharply against the sun behind Loch Achleis. Ben Fhada stood out dramatically above Loch Etive. The old pier in Glen Etive. This scene has appeared in calendars and guidebooks throughout the world, and one can understand why. In the distance, Ben Fhada and Ben Do. Above the frozen waterfall, Stobnabroig, one of 3 major peaks on Buchel Etive Moor. Buchel Etive Moor, hanging on to its snow like a miser to his money, but from this angle a particularly spectacular view. And finally, Tynalt Peak and Cruachan mirrored in a very calm Loch Etive. With conditions like these, spring could not be far away. We went by ferry from Clanaig to Lochranza, and a very impressive crossing it is on the ferry, with the hills dominating the background all the way over. Particularly outstanding when one first arrives on the island is the sleeping warrior, seen there in the foreground. But
But the one everybody really comes to climb is the 2,866 foot Goat Fell. A truly magnificent peak offering spectacular views. We spent the first afternoon eyeing up Goat Fell and just looking around the front at Brodick, which is the most beautiful little village with a really continental atmosphere. The ferry plies between Brodick and Ardrossan. Goat Fell, our main aim. The following morning we set off in overcast circumstances, but the forecast was good, so we were looking forward to some excellent filming and some super views. By the time we'd reached this waterfall, however, a little mist